Welcome back to Ken Rosewell Arena here in Sydney, and we are continuing to celebrate First Nations round. This is the second round that we've done so. It's been a fabulous couple of weeks. This afternoon, it's 6th up against 2nd as the New South Wales Swifts host the West Coast Fever in a fight to keep their season alive. I win, Kim, I found him. That was pretty easy, wasn't it? There he is. Where's Wally in the crowd? The perfect colours for it. The New South Wales Swifts. Kim was looking at me, didn't entirely understand where I was going. Let's have a little reminder, though, of how the teams will line up with their Woolworths team cards. The New South Wales Swifts have stuck with Singleton out the front. This seems to be the go-to shooting combination to start the games. The co-captains who have been leading the way all season, Paige Hadley and Maddie Proud in the middle. Bit of a switch up in defence for the New South Wales Swifts here today. Turner is outside the circle in at wing defence, Sarah Clow goal defence, and Tegan O'Shaughnessy. So all of the height across those three defensive positions. And we do generally see the bench of Fraser Smith and Fawns on at some stage.
And if we have a look at the Fever, Fowler out at shooter there, Glasgow in goal attack. There's not much change through that mid-court. We do see Verity Simmons back in the mix, Francis Bayman on the wing, Ariang in goal defence, and Bruce in goalkeeper.
Well, let's get down now courtside for the Welcome to Country presented by Uncle Glenn Doyle.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I would like to take this opportunity today to welcome you to the traditional lands of the Darug Nation. It's with great honour that I'm here today to represent the Indigenous people. I'd also like to acknowledge the traditional people, Aboriginal people in the audience today. Welcome. We're standing on the lands of the Darug Nation. We'd also like to acknowledge the other 28 clans that make up the Eora Nation. The traditional boundaries are the Hawkesbury River to the north, the Nepean River to the west, and Georges River to the south. Within that boundary lies the 29 clans of the Eora Nation. I'd also like to pay my respects to the elders, past, present and emerging. And I say to you in my language, Yama Gine, which is hello and welcome. Good luck to both sides today, and please enjoy the game. Thank you.
Thank you to Uncle Glenn Doyle as he welcomes us to country and gets us ready for what is going to be a big clash here and an important one as the teams come together in their final huddles. The Swifts looking fairly relaxed, Kim, but it is a big job and an important win for them today if they can get it.
Well, and we heard Maddie Proud talk about it's all about them today, and we've got a beautiful crowd in here. You can see them all starting to pile on in. But this is their home ground advantage, and they want to be able to put their foot down here against the Fever. They have had an inconsistent couple of weeks, and the Fever are also on the same foot. So when we go out there and see how they're going to mix it up in these first 5 minutes, it's going to be important to see who actually puts their foot down, puts their hand up and goes, I want to set the standard.
Yeah, absolutely a big win needed here for the New South Wales Swifts. They've got the Queensland Firebirds next week. It really doesn't get any easier for them, and the Firebirds and the Swifts will be desperate at that point to get into that top four. Teams both now out on court, and here comes our beautiful ball deliverer. This is Bianca from What Ability. And What Ability is an important charity that the Swifts, Maddie Proud and Ali Smith in particular, work very closely with. So a very special moment for young Bianca as Verity Simmons takes the ball on. A beautiful hug from the co-captain there in Maddie Proud. There's been a lot of special moments in the last couple of weeks. That's certainly one of my highlights. Look at the smile on her face.
Gosh, we've got some special netballers in our community, don't we?
Absolutely do. We've seen a lot of them today as we see the big girls get underway here at Ken Rosewell Arena, and it's the West Coast Fever to start us off. Ariang, Teague Neal, Simmons, back to Teague Neal, and there it is, the path we will see an awful lot of in this game. How do you think O'Shaughnessy and Clow are going to work together to battle Fowler? Do you think that's what the kind of defensive structure they'll take?
Yeah, well, we just saw there Tegan going out and leaving Fowler a little bit exposed to allow Clow back into the space. I really think that already you can see the intent from the Swifts is making sure that they're nice and high out the front to try and launch that ball up, have a crack.
Well, speaking of intent, Courtney Bruce, as we mentioned in the opener, had an absolute cracker against the Swifts last time they met. And she's starting off being a serial pest already.
She is a little bit of a pester.
She is an absolute serial pest, but isn't that the job of any true defender? Bianca Chatfield will be the first one to tell you that. Long ball, good vision from Teague Neal to Fowler. And again, there's that connection which has grown so beautifully across the season.
And something that we've seen already is Fowler's willing to move. Maybe that is because Tegan's back there, the height's out there. She's, you know what, I'm just going to change it up a little bit, see what they come up with.
We really have seen an evolution, though, in the tall shooter, because they can't just stand and hold anymore. They've got to mix it up. Otherwise, they become far too predictable.
100%, Kath, but we also see that she's still breaking records, but still moving and then taking two-point shots. Yeah, she's pretty incredible, and I feel like we've seen her grow and grow each season, and no one can stop her. Let's see if Tegan can do it today.
Well, Helen Housby didn't want to take that shot, and it wasn't overly long distance. Singleton, another crack at it, and this one falls. So even early days here. As we mentioned, it is second up against sixth. And look at the penalties already, and I feel like at least 5 of those are Courtney Bruce wanting to get in there, agitate, and put the Swifts attack line off.
And I think when you have 7 penalties to start the game, it is just showing your intent as to what you're wanting to do. You're putting pressure already. We've seen Housby also a bit shaky on the shot. So I think having Bruce being in the face is definitely her game plan.
Also testing the umpires too, though, aren't they, to see what they can get away with. Well, no easy route there for the New South Wales Swifts. It's with the co-captain Proud now. Straight to the circle is her vision. And again, Housby inside the circle in what you would think was shooting position, not wanting to take it. They're going to make hard work of this game if they're going to continue to pass the ball in and out the New South Wales Swifts.
With Housby at the top of the circle there, you can see that the middies were all on top of her. Need to spread it out a little bit, create some angles for that next feed. I think they're getting a little bit jammed at the top of the circle.
Oh, there it is, O'Shaughnessy. You heard the roar come from Kimmy Green. Tegan.
You could see it a mile away. She could just have eyes for the ball, and she was really wanting to get that intercept as she goes for another one there. She needs to keep mixing it up, though, especially on Fowler on that hold. Keep confusing the space, but have a look at this Harvey Norman highlight. Beautiful, if she could just, keep two hands on it.
Well, the
get
fact
that
that
intercept.
she's prepared to come out of the circle shows she's feeling pretty confident about this game, even with a big shiner on her face. Might be able to get a shot at later. Well, the little pass off again from Housby to Singleton. So the Swifts keeping it level, Peggings. Over the top to Glasgow. Well, she can't pull it in. So an opportunity here for the New South Wales Swifts, and don't the crowd love it?
I don't think the Fever have quite figured out how to maximise the attacking power that they can bring down this end with the tools. I think you will just see in the next couple of minutes them trying to figure it out. Bruce coming through, another penalty though.
Yeah, it's another penalty, and the ones outside the circle are the dangerous ones, aren't they? Because it leaves a 2-on-1 inside the circle, and Kelly Singleton, just the one miss, but taking the majority of the shots at the moment for the New South Wales Swifts. There's your time in possession, so heavily in favour of the New South Wales Swifts, as there's some great vision to Housby. Well, is that why she's not taking the shots? They're not feeling it at the moment. It is only her first miss, but it was under the post, should have been sunk.
And she's touching her nose quite a bit in back play here. Obviously, she's got a bit of a hit from Bruce on that one. If blood does come, she has to come off the court, unfortunately, so she might need to get that under control. But I think for Housby, it's the intent of actually going for the shot. It's not the miss. It's putting a lot of pressure on Singleton. We've seen Singleton step up.
Yeah, well, there's the whack we just saw in the face from Courtney Bruce. She won't shy away from those contests. Simmons. Long to Fowler again, and that's where they missed Verity Simmons last week, is that is always her first look. Look long, look for Fowler, get it done efficiently.
If we take a look at the Fever shooting stats there, you see that Janelle Fowler sitting on 100%, Glasgow on 100% also. So they just need to get the ball there. At the moment, it's a little bit of struggle town out the front. Keep it short and sharp. Get around those big hands, the rangy defenders.
Yeah, well, speaking of struggle town, a little bit longer for the New South Wales Swifts on that approach as well, but didn't look panicked. Nice and patient, waiting for something to open, and it comes through Housby. She wants to sink this for her own confidence, and she does. Simmons with the centre pass. Teague Neal, hasn't she been a revelation? Out a wing attack. Again, there's that long vision from Simmons to Fowler. Patience, Fowler under the post. Could be a record-breaking season for Janelle Fowler. Just when you think she can't get any better, she proves us all wrong. Housby, great vision, and the speed to burn from Singleton. Ariang left outside the circle.
Sunday was having a really good look at something else then and completely missed where her player was. Singleton having a nice little stream out the back. Sprinted in.
Goal for goal here. And again, there's that vision. That one not even a high ball, so just exploiting the speed on the ball on that occasion.
That connection needs to be disrupted by the Swifts. We know that Simmons is fantastic and she's been able to sight Fowler for most of her career. And I think that's just one that they need to get on top of. Hands over to stop it.
Courtney Bruce, well, it looked like it was good timing on the shot, but Kelly Singleton not having a bar of it.
Swift sitting in a box here, just trying to create some high ball. Fever making it look very, very easy.
Well, again, that one was quite flat, wasn't it? Let's not forget, Aussie Diamond superstar Caitlin Bassett is on the sideline for us. Caitlin, what have you thought so far of this first quarter?
Yeah, look, Dan Ryan already standing up, telling his players to get off the body. He's highly aware of the penalty rates, not just Courtney Bruce is having, but also Verity Simmons. She's currently the highest penalised player on court. So that little matchup between her and Proud is getting physical.
It's a funny one, isn't it, the penalties, because, well, great take from Teague Neal. Unless it's really putting them out of the play, I think sometimes penalties are a good thing just to test the waters and start to put a little bit of doubt in your opponent's minds. But when you're out of play in a critical position, like outside the circle for a defender, then it becomes an issue.
Well, and it is about testing the umpires, as we see this replay here. It is about testing them to see what they're going to pull. Here we go with the umpires again, saying, you know, you're blocking with your arms. You need to pull your arms down. So they need to adjust. But when we look at Verity, you know, she's had a week off, so maybe it is a little bit of just not being in touch from being out for the week.
Well, and if she is tired, it'd be a good time to bring on a Chelsea Pittman. And that's right, they didn't select her. No, so I'd be interested to see what happens in that mid-court.
Yeah, what does happen? It's something that we need to speak about, because Shannon Eaglin, that has been brought into the squad, doesn't play centre, not that we've seen a whole lot of, and Kosh doesn't play centre either. So a tough one, and we saw Chelsea Pittman have a little bit of a run there last week, and I didn't think she did too badly, to be honest.
Proud, Housby. There's the triangle the Swifts love so much. Hadley at the top. And another one of those penalties we were talking about. Ariang this time. Housby. Just the one miss from Housby, and it was early in the game. Looks to have found the radar. That will be a welcome relief for Bryony Akel. Glasgow. Long to Fowler, who's quite often been outside the circle, taking the ball, and then does exactly that, retreats straight away for the next one. There she is, the New South Wales Swifts head coach, Bryony Akel, looking pretty content at the moment just to be still in touch. Centre pass here for the New South Wales Swifts, and there's a siren for the start of the Power 5. Swifts down by 3. Do you go to the super shot already? Suncorp super shot, or you just continue to chip away?
I've been pretty critical of the Swifts and their super shot efforts of the last couple of weeks. I think they need to keep chipping away at the ones. You know, they're only 3 down. That's, you know, just 1 turnover. So, like, I think they just need to keep chipping away, and then, you know, if they're in dire straits, then go to it.
Well, a reminder, the last time these sides met was when Housby set the record, or equaled the record, 10 from 12 super shots she scored against the West Coast Fever. But you're right, you don't want to get in the position you're forced to shoot them. Simmons, Ariang, Simmons again. Oh, sorry, Francis Bayman it was. Here is Ariang.
Swift's doing a great job of holding up the Fever in this play. As Maddie Proud goes for an intercept there, just gets the deflection.
Verity Simmons will take the throw in and doesn't go straight in. There's too much space.
Yeah.
They're all trying to sit off the body, but you could see quite clearly then, absolutely no one on Janelle Fowler.
Yeah, the box is too wide. They need to keep it a little bit tighter to force everyone wide. If you're too wide, it opens up the middle.
Oh, good tip out though. Control couldn't pull the rebound in. Smart enough though to keep it alive to a Swifts teammate.
Housby looks a little bit shaky.
Yeah, a little, doesn't she, early? You don't often see her just even shy away from some of those attempts. 2 misses, and then the 1 super shot. Glasgow, she loves this territory. She was leading that stat the majority of the season, and there it is, a Suncorp super shot. The first one to drop in this game to Sasha Glasgow. Proud, Clow, Singleton, Hadley. Over the top, well, it looked like it was meant to be to Singleton. Proud saved the day, and then there she is sneaking across the baseline, Helen Housby.
The mop is out.
Hasn't that been a good introduction to
Yeah.
the Super Netball season? Instead of being down on the ground with a towel like it used to be, Sabco on board. Some great initiative shown there. 5 the difference here, 2 minutes to go. West Coast Fever could get themselves a nice little buffer as they head into the quarter time break. Teague Neal to Glasgow. Well, again, not going to shy away from these opportunities, and that is exactly why 2 Suncorp super shots in the matter of seconds for Sasha Glasgow. And that takes them out to 7-goal lead. Dan Ryan still wanting more. One of the most passionate coaches on the sideline. Anything Glasgow can do, Housby can do too. Not forgetting Suncorp donating $100 each Suncorp super shot to the Confident Girls Foundation this season. Another penalty.
Yeah.
Well, the last person you want to penalise out there is Sasha Glasgow. Chooses to pass it off and just take the 1 this time.
And the great thing about that Fever attack is that Glasgow does have that ability to shoot those 2 points. So when it does come to the power 5, she is dangerous. So then the defenders have to change up what they're doing. See Maddie Proud on the floor. We often see her on the floor though.
Yeah, that's nothing new, is
Nah.
it?
But another penalty to Fever's name.
No one in, just had to wait a little while, work it around the circle. Again, Courtney Brousseau, while she's not winning ball back, she's getting tips and touches. She's disrupting the play, taking the flow away from the New South Wales Swifts, but only for a moment. Helen Housby has come alive in this power 5. Glasgow, Teague Neal, good strong drive onto the circle edge. What a luxury. Glasgow in that super shot or a Fowler over the back. Either one can shoot from those distances.
And the great thing for Glasgow is that, you know, when she's shooting at 100%, that's great. But when she's not shooting at 100%, you have got the best attacking rebounder underneath the post in Fowler. So she has all the confidence to go for that shot, just like Housby is right now.
Yeah, talking about feeling confident, and she's got the scream out early. Helen Housby fired up.
I love the fired up Helen Housby.
Recognised that the West Coast Fever might have been getting away from them a little, and she's clawed it back to 3, almost single-handedly, 3 from 4. Suncorp super shots. Whoa, how close was O'Shannessy on the tip there? No, and it's a Swifts ball. So she did enough, Tegan O'Shannessy. Got to get down the court though, 8 seconds. Can they get there? Was it? Yeah, about to say a smart penalty from Teague Neal, but she made it far too obvious, didn't she? So it's been advanced. The umpire wants it back though. She's called time. Penalty being moved up the court a little bit.
You just need one shooter in the circle there. Get Singleton out. Housby one-on-one, launch it in.
Yeah, looks like Housby standing up nice and high, so she's got plenty of room behind her to do exactly that. Can't make it fall, so an opportunity gone begging there for the New South Wales Swifts. 3 the difference right now. It is the West Coast Fever in control, leading 20-17.
We're here at Ken Rosewell Arena, where the New South Wales Swifts are trailing by 3 goals to the West Coast Fever. Coach Dan Ryan went straight to Simmons and Francis Bayman, telling them they need to be putting more pressure on defensively. I'm keen to hear what was happening in the Swifts huddle though. Kath, Kim, what did you hear?
Yeah, interesting you said that, Bass. We went into the Swifts bench. Bryony wants their attackers to be smarter with more intent. She spoke to Housby in particular about making sure that she's doing her dodges on the baseline. The prelims are there. She said that Bruce wants her out of the circle so that she can go and have a little pick off of anything outside. So we expect to see Housby doing a little bit more work on that baseline.
Yeah, interesting, wasn't it? Because we did speak about them having to minimise Bruce's impact. Clearly, Bryony Akel wanting that to be even more so in this second quarter. So keep an eye on that, particularly Helen Housby. So New South Wales start us off here. Turner, Plow, Singleton up the middle, and again Housby. Well, she did exactly what Bryony Akel told her not to do. Come outside the circle, and look what happened.
I'm looking at Bryony Akel's face. She doesn't look too happy.
No, I can't imagine she would be. That was the last instruction that went to Housby. Nonetheless, inside the circle, and Singleton continues on her way. Here it is on the Harvey Norman replay. And probably got to the edge of the circle and went, oh, I'm not supposed to be out here, and stopped a little on it. That's when Bruce came through.
Note to self.
Yep. Lesson learned. Long ball, Teague Neal to Fowler. And that is such an easy path when they get that one-on-one.
Hadley's very high on that centre pass.
And look where Housby is.
Yeah, outside the circle once again.
A long way out as well. Do you know what, though? I feel like that's something you do when your goalkeeper's getting the upper hand.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to stay there and face it. You want to get out. You want to get into the play and distract yourself. So that's a win in my mind for Courtney Bruce.
Well, and a question to you as a goaler. Often hear goalers saying that they want ball in hand to try and get themselves into the game. Is that what she's doing?
Well, I think she needs to stay in the circle and do it and just demand it that way. And particularly when your coach is telling you that's exactly what your job is. Ariang all the way back to Bruce Simmons. Teague Neal, everyone pretty high here, Kim.
Yeah.
All in that line with that centre circle.
The Swifts are doing a great job just tagging them at the moment. They're not actually going for the ball. Just making it hard for them to get down to the circle edge.
Oh, good challenge coming from Sarah Clow this time. Positional swap. And here is on the Harvey Norman replay. Here's the challenge. Well, Clow had her back to Fowler, but still got up and disrupted. Teague Neal, Fowler happy to come outside the circle. That's when they need to get up, though, and stop her.
Absolutely. Outside of the circle, you need to keep her there, and it's just too easy for her to get back in.
Glasgow. Well, misses, but as you mentioned, the best offensive rebounder in the competition, Fowler, there to clean up the mess.
See a wall here from the Fever defence end, but that beautiful second phase depth from Hadley is the way to break it apart. Not certain we've seen the impact from Hadley and Proud that we spoke about in pre-match. Wanting to put their foot down. We haven't seen too much of that yet.
Hard to do with a shooting circle that's not feeling it, though.
Yeah, it absolutely is, but you can still create your own luck in there and create your own momentum. As we've seen, a beautiful tip and chase here.
Maddie Proud, Hadley, the two co-captains working together. Turner, Singleton. Yeah, there it is, a nice little dodge from Maddie, and there's the dodge on the baseline that Bryony Akel wanted from Helen Housby. Much cleaner approach. A shame they couldn't finish it off, though, the New South Wales Swifts. For the difference in this second quarter, and a reminder, the last time these sides met, it was 18 goals difference the way of the West Coast Fever. The Swifts don't want a replica of that. Simmons. Glasgow, well, the vision was direct again, but this time picks up the goal attack.
Clow was out on Simmons then. Nowhere near her players, so they're obviously doing some sort of a box or a diamond positional switch there, but Genesee just stuck on the body again. Obviously Fowler doing a great job of screening out. Yeah,
like they're trying to confuse space, but they seem to be just leaving too much of it open, the New South Wales Swifts at the moment. There it is though again. That timed new movement inside the circle from Helen Housby. These shots have got to fall though for the New South Wales Swifts. That one does. Plenty of fans in here, all rugged up today. Pretty fresh in Sydney town. Simmons wants something. It's Fowler outside the circle yet again.
Tegan doing her best to try and keep her out of there. It's just going in way too easy.
Yeah, she shouldn't be able to be outside the circle and take a ball and then get back for the next ball that easily, should she? They need to pick up certainly that blocking role on the way back in. Oh, Housby again, maybe just rush that one. Hits the front of the ring. A long ball to Glasgow. Couple of good long balls, find some great depth here. 3 long balls. Matter of seconds, the West Coast Fever find themselves down and under the posts. That is a hard game to beat, Kim.
The next couple of minutes is danger, as we've seen a timeout being called here.
Well, you're not the only one that recognised that. Bryony Akel's called the HCF tactical timeout. We'll get down to her huddle in a moment and see if we can pick up exactly what she wanted to talk about.
Just relax. I like the last centre pass. I love that we opened up that middle and our timing was much better rather than everyone converging on the same ball. So I like that you're punching forward and your timing was much better, which allowed you to come out middle. What I was saying about getting going earlier, as the ball is even just here first phase, you are getting her moving. Don't just hold on the side, because if you just hold, she holds on you and can go hunting. But if you're moving like this, short, sharp, little baseline moves, let's use some fakes. Because I think we're getting ahead of the ball, but then we don't fake and just telegraph it. Does that make sense? Fakes, work together, use your screens. Let's put a focus on defence. You miss a shot, we are back in their grill. Guys, this next 2 minutes is vital. Vital for energy, vital for connection, yeah? So let's go.
Let's go. Everything you've got in these 2 minutes, we leave nothing in the tank. Let's go.
Let's go. Oh, sweat.
Well, keep an eye on the next 2 minutes, as Bryony Akel has just pointed out. Here is the live ladder. And that's what will happen if the West Coast Fever end up in front. Well and truly will take that second place with 36 points. Bryony Akel spent all her time talking to the attack line then. We didn't get to hear from Beck Bully, but no doubt she's had plenty to say to that defence end to probably tighten up a little.
Well, no surprise, she went straight to Housby and said you need to keep moving on the first phase, get Bruce moving, get her head moving. Maybe not so much out of the circle.
Glasgow, another one in the bag. Those beautiful Suncorp super shots in the first quarter, 2 of those. And again, there's that beautiful timing from Helen Housby when she's actually committing to it. She's burning Bruce, but not only is she doing that, she's keeping Bruce away from everybody else.
Yeah, she really is. And I think the great thing that she can start to bring into a game now is to bring the front lead as opposed to going over all the time. We know that's what Bruce is so good at. So taking her, to the baseline and then coming back out. She's out of the circle again. Let's see what she can do here.
Well, look at those stats on screen too. We mentioned Janelle Fowler going for a record-breaking season. She's sitting on 21 goals already. That is the New South Wales Swifts' whole score
My goodness. She's just unstoppable, and I think the fact that she's so accurate, and the players are willing to just keep giving her the ball because she is so accurate, as we see with the Swifts at the moment. Your attacking line is just a little bit all over the shot because they're not putting the shots up, these shooters.
Another one for Fowler. 7 the difference. There's Fowler's shooting spots.
Right in the middle.
Yeah, under the post, but certainly in the middle is a sweet spot, isn't it? Big swing across the circle. Housby, there's the triangle again between the co-captains. That is a beautiful approach for the Swifts, and the finish this time.
And that's what the Swifts need to do to get themselves back into this game. The middies in Proud and Hadley, they are experienced. They know how to do it. Swing that ball. Beautiful. Well done on Proud.
Oh, unlucky. Oh, no, they've kept possession.
You could see the grit in that. You could see that she needed to get that ball for the Swifts to keep ticking away at this score.
Got to score off it, though, the New South Wales Swifts now. So they need some composure here when they get inside the circle. And that is not what I meant by composure. They've turned it over. The West Coast Fever down court so quickly. And your general play turnovers, well, in this quarter, it's felt like that's actually flipped. So just the 3 for the New South Wales Swifts, that's actually pretty clinical. Again, a miss from Glasgow, but it doesn't matter when you've got the Jamaican superstar in the circle. There is the turnover out of the hands of Frances Bayman. Beck Bully, look at the face. She's passionate. She knows what's on the line here. Caitlin Bassett on the sideline for us. What have you made of this second quarter?
Yeah, look, I feel like Fever have really gained some momentum. That ball is travelling so easily in their attacking end, and Swifts just not capitalising when they do win some hard-earned ball. Maybe just trying to see a little bit of a change in the Swifts defence end, back to something a little bit more traditional. I can see Ali Smith warming up.
Couldn't agree with you more. They are starting to leak the goals, the New South Wales Swifts, and really no defensive pressure through that mid-court whatsoever. We just saw the West Coast Fever goals from Gaines on the screen. It was 7-0. So they're doing the damage when they get a turnover.
And that's how you create momentum for your team, is when you get a turnover, you take it down the other end and score. Fever are doing that fantastic.
Frances Bayman, Simmons. A lot of those goals from Gaines have come in this second quarter too. It's where they've started to blow it out. The timing of Glasgow. And back to Fowler. Too easy. You're so right, that change needs to come in defence. When's Bryony Agle going to do it? Well, interestingly enough, the HCF timeout has come, but it's come from Dan Ryan. The West Coast Fever up by 7. An interesting time to call a timeout. Let's get down and see why he's done so.
Super shot against these guys. So think about, if we can draw Housby out of the circle, you two guys maybe work together and tag her, all right? So let's not worry about the mid-quarters, let's worry about the shooters and eliminate their threats, okay? If we're playing one-on-one though, overdo sitting high, just force it over our heads for just ticking over once, all right? So full commitment to it, all right? Yeah, absolutely. So say we get our shot and our grip moments, we go for the one, and then let's be aggressive on the second part, only if we feel that we're not forcing it, all right? Absolutely, right? The hand is good too, you're getting some nice volume, so keep that up, right? And again, keep releasing your circle when you need to, because you've got great options to hit next, right? Really well done. Just to get between you three guys, let's not get too wide and separated that we're on opposite sides of the court, all right? So give the short little ones to each other, pass and cut to the edge, all right?
Dan Ryan and the West Coast Fever have been on the wrong end of the Swifts when they were on fire in those Suncorp super shots, and that was the whole reason for the timeout. Kim, talk us through it.
Yeah, they're going into this power 5 now, and what they want is Housby out of the circle. You know, we've heard from Bryony wanting her to stay in the circle. They're trying to get it out so that it isolates Singleton.
And a couple of changes made in defence. Well, we wondered when that would happen. Ali Smith is on to wing defence, which puts Maddie Turner back in a usual position of goal defence and Sarah Clow back in goalkeeper. Let's see if they can get any more ball back this way, the New South Wales Swifts. Six the difference, 30 seconds away from that power 5. Simmons. Back to Ariane Simmons. Teague Neal, Glasgow. Pretty slick coming from the West Coast Fever. Fowler under the post, another on the board for her. 26 from 26. Or you'd suspect, well, they're going to chip away at the ones because it's 1 second outside that power 5. There is the siren. Helen Housby a little off the boil with shots in regular time, and a turnover though, and it comes from the defensive swap that just happened in the circle. Maybe just even a bit more familiar with the way each other play. Look at Housby. Wants the ball. She loves this time.
And really that's the first time we've seen Turner come into the game with a deflection or an intercept, and the fact that she was able to chase that down and take it all the way down the court.
Very different position, wing defence, to being outside the circle and then back in it.
It 100% is. And if we take a look at the shooting here, they're going for that super shot. We just need to sink those.
Yeah.
Just 1 or 2 and they're back in the game.
And all the rebounds got to come.
Yeah.
Got to try and keep possession. That's the issue with the super shot if it goes awry. Simmons, long, Fowler. Well, Smith, penalty outside the circle. So Glasgow looked like she was going to shoot it. The pass off.
It did look like a shot.
Sneaky.
Very sneaky.
The West Coast Fever now out by 6. Centre pass to follow. Frances Bayman, the tip coming from Singleton. Glasgow, the quick 1-2 with Teague Neal. Super shot range has not missed from here. Sasha Glasgow, and she sinks another Suncorp super shot. 3 from 3. Better accuracy there than in regular time for Sasha Glasgow. Doesn't she love it? Proud. Across to Singleton again. It's Courtney Bruce out hunting.
Fever doing a great job of holding them up there. Bruce being able to come out for those pocket balls. We spoke about that in the pre-game. As they spilled that one down the other end. If you look at the deflections, Bruce, oh, she's been good already. 6 deflections. And the next best was 1.
Well, interesting to note, not a single intercept though for Courtney Bruce. So not getting the ball cleanly in hand, but being disruptive, as we mentioned. Helen Housby, can she sink another here? She was good in that first quarter. 2 misses. Well, at what point do you just start to take the singles to keep possession? It's now out by 8 to the West Coast Fever, and they've got possession. Glasgow. Simmons.
I'm looking at the bench for the Swifts. I'm wondering when Fawns might be able to come out on the court and have a bit of a dig out there. You know, there's a lot of pressure on Housby to keep putting those super shots up. Let's see what Fawns can do.
Well, as you say that, Bryony Akel has called an HCF timeout. Will there be any positional changes, or just wants to have a chat with her team? Let's have a listen.
Not trying to get in the 2. Let's just, if it lands naturally, let's take those 2s, otherwise let's work so we're still in this game, rather than letting it push out. Must get rebounds. We must get in a position in front of them, Kel. Fight for that rebound. No thinking you might get it 50-50. You're in there with the contest, yeah? I still think we can change these leads up. Well, are we actually sitting on the inside of them like I asked you to? Or we're sitting outside them punching? Start in the middle, up and back and change direction so you land circle edge. I actually think they're doing quite a good job at squeezing us onto the circle edge. Let's try and balance top and sides. Look in straight away, we can fake that, then one of you can go yourselves. Does that make sense?
Like go hard deep or try and get short.
I actually think there's some depth on, yeah? People are weird. Guys, let's go. Hands in here. You are still in this, yeah? Let's go. Hands up the top. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Well, Bronnie Akel, what'd you make of that instruction, Kim?
I love how positive she is. She went straight to the attackers and said, let's just take it naturally, that super shot. Don't force it. If we're in that 2-point, have a crack at it. If not, let's take the ones. But she said we must get rebounds. Fever are leading that stat 10-1 at the moment, and Bruce is just absolutely crushing them.
10-1 is an absolute bath when it comes to rebounds. Getting schooled there, the New South Wales Swifts. And look who's responsible for the majority of them. It's the defensive rebounds coming through Bruce and Ari Young with 8 of those 10. That's a telling stat, isn't it?
It sure is, and it just means that these shooters need to stand up for the Swifts. They're getting it in there, obviously, but they're not able to just, get their hands on the ball, get themselves in a really strong position whilst the other shooter is shooting.
Well, much better link then too, wasn't it? The pass at the top of the circle, but instead of shooting that super shot, as Bronnie Akel said, worked it a little closer. Where are the Swift stats on your screen? Verity Simmons, long again, Fowler outside the circle. Needs to be kept there to stop the damage she's doing, as is Sasha Glasgow from that distance. Again, another good connection between Helen Housby and Kelly Singleton. The miss, but the rebound. That'll please Bronnie Akel to get this back to 9 with 43 seconds left in this opening half.
Plenty of time for the Fever. Beautiful overload centre pass, which allowed Verity Simmons to be able to just drive down in that middle channel. Very easy connection into Fowler.
Yeah, you say plenty of time, but they don't need it, do they? The West Coast Fever at the moment, it is flying down court. Singleton, long ball. Well, not the smartest thing to do. There was a lot of time on the clock. Courtney Bruce taking out the goalpost in the challenge.
Looks a bit ginger on that one too, Kath.
Oh, Helen Housby, another miss, but a good block out for the rebound. You mentioned that being so important, Kim. Yeah, she is still rubbing her arm, isn't she?
Yeah, the intent from Singleton to get into that position, to get that rebound. They're the momentum shifters. Here we see a replay, the Harvey Norman replay of Bruce having a hug.
Well, right on the siren of halftime. So it is the West Coast Fever leading by 9 as they head into the halftime break. No doubt plenty to be said from Coach Bronnie Akel to the current premiers. Their season is not dead and buried, but they do have some work to do if they want to get themselves back in this contest. And a big solid crowd in here too. They've only got 2 home games left, the New South Wales Swifts. Let's get down now to Caitlin Bassett, who's with one of the Swift shooters.
That's right, I'm here with Helen Housby. Helen, a great matchup between you and Courtney Bruce so far. Tell her, how do you keep her distracted from going out and picking off ball?
Oh, you've just got to keep her busy, I think, keep her moving. She's an awesome goalkeeper. I think you've just got to get her head moving.
And you're 11 goals down at the moment. You've been guilty of some half-time fade-outs. What do you need to do in this break to make sure you come out firing?
Look, we know that with the super shot, anything can happen. We're still in this game. We're going to go back, regroup, talk to Bronnie, and come back out firing.
And those super shots, they were sitting for you in the first quarter, not so much in the second. How do you decide whether to keep taking them?
Oh, you've just got to keep backing yourself. I mean, you're always going to miss some, but yeah, you just got to keep shooting them for your team.
No worries. Good luck for the second half.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Well, it's a beautiful afternoon here in Sydney and a pretty full stadium too. The New South Wales fans know they've only got 2 more opportunities to see their mighty New South Wales Swifts, the current premiers, in action. And this is a very important game. Let's get down to the boss, the head coach of the New South Wales Swifts, Bronnie Akel. Bronnie, down by 9, you'd certainly get yourselves back in this contest. What was the instruction at halftime?
Yeah, we certainly can get back into this game, and I think it's about conversion at the end of the day. I think we've been playing some really good netball. We just have to finish it off.
Yeah, you talk about conversion, but I want to talk about the defensive changes. You're back to your favoured lineup. What didn't happen in that first half that you're hoping that will happen in the second?
I think the first lineup did a good job. I think it's just about keeping your opposition guessing and fresh legs. So just like Ali did just there.
And Ali Smith over Taylor Fraser in that wing defence position.
Yeah, I think Tay or Ali could do it. We're, spoilt for choice there, so we thought we'll give Ali a crack today and see what she can bring.
Well, we'll leave you to it because it was just one of those conversion opportunities that went out the baseline. Probably a good time to let you go. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Kath. Bye.
Yeah, we don't want to hear the coach getting cranky at us, so we'll leave it to it. Another opportunity here for the West Coast Fever, and that's not what the Swifts wanted. It was 9 at halftime, and it's now out to 10. Turner, Proud, Hadley, the co-captains working together. Housby outside the circle. Proud, the swing to the top again. Well, a lot slicker from the New South Wales Swifts, and there is the finish. Interesting to note, no change in that shooting circle, which we've seen quite often this season, Kim.
Yeah, we were talking about that. We're thinking that Fawns might be able to come back in, but Singleton has done some great stuff. She has gone back into the shooter position. As we see Verity Simmons down in back play. Efficiency from the Swifts all the way down the court here, but we have seen the positional switch. So Housby out to goal attack and Singleton into goal shooting.
Well, gotta say, I know it's only super early days, 1.5 minutes, but in terms of movement, it is a lot slicker.
You can see the rotation from the shooters. You didn't see that in the first half. So Singleton's really implementing her game and putting her foot down here.
Yeah, I like this change.
Yeah.
Obviously, Housby's back to where she's most comfortable, and Singleton just gives Bruce something else completely different to think about, more of a timing player, and she really could exploit Bruce with that. Well, far out, it's a different ball game altogether, isn't it? With this combo just switched the other way, something so simple.
A stunning screen from Housby on the inside, the swing ball. If we have a look at the last 10 goals here, Swifts on the last 3 with Ali Smith getting another one here. Can they convert?
What a turnaround. Well, whatever Bryony Akel said in the change room, and I'm sure there was more than what she told us, it has had effect. If we see on the Harvey Norman replay, through the fingers of Simmons, and Ali Smith there to pick up the crumbs.
That was beautiful second phase step. If you take a look at the match leaders of the Nissan net points, Bruce is sitting on 70, but we can see Hadley and Proud are doing the work out the front here. It's now that these shooters are starting to find their groove. Can they get on those Nissan?
Well, let's keep an eye on Courtney Bruce's in particular, because while she's had a good first half, can she maintain, or is she going to slip down that ladder now this Swifts line has found some form? Oh, Smith again! Look at the bench, look at Bryony Akel. What an introduction to a game.
And for anyone watching out there, that is a classic way to get an intercept. Have that little bit of space to make it look open. 2 hands on the ball, keep running through it.
Look at that stat, third quarter.
3-0.
They were getting smashed defensively in this first opening half. Oh, it needed to be rewarded, didn't it? Singleton couldn't get it to fall. 5-1 in this quarter, Kim Green.
It's been a big change from the first half, that's for sure. But Fever are a strong team. They know what to do in these circumstances. They know that they'll have to take it right to the circle's edge here, as we see Fowler almost take out. Too much running.
Maddie Turner just got herself in a ball then because she knew she was going to get cleaned up.
But Fever do need to get that ball down, keep it a little bit shorter. Maybe they're a little bit stunned coming into the second half.
Do you know what, though? You're spot on. This is a very good opportunity for the Fever to be tested. I know they have this season already, but if they want to go that one step further and win a premiership, they've got to weather these storms and come out the other side of them. Proud. Hadley, sorry. Housby inside the circle. Another one of those penalties to the West Coast Fever. And, well, a cheeky one under the posts. Has that momentum shifted completely between Housby and Bruce? That is not a happy-looking Dan Ryan. Oh, well, nearly another ball going the way of the New South Wales Swifts. Fowler.
Verity Simmons screaming at Alice Teague-Neal to just give the ball. When you get into these sort of situations, you hold onto the ball a little bit too much. Creates opportunity for the other team. So you need to just keep giving that ball.
Nowhere to go. Hadley has to retreat. Proud. Hadley, home alone. Singleton, Hadley again, doing a lot of work outside the circle. Singleton needs to make this one fall. She does. Well, Singleton is rewarding Bryony Akel for the belief in her to leave her on in this second quarter as we see the stats come up. Sitting at 72%. Housby, though, uncharacteristically down 69. A few misses, though, coming in those Suncorp super shots. Fowler, no issue with accuracy for her.
We're seeing that percentage there, but you can feel the momentum shifting in this attack end now in this second half. So let's keep an eye on those shooting stats as we go. Oh, well done, Glasgow. Getting on the inside there. That is such a great opportunity from any attacker on that transverse line to make sure you're on the inside, confuse the space.
Even just to be on the transverse line, though, it's a hard game to play, to be right up there. Penalties evened out, haven't they? Just 2 the difference now, as we see Fowler with the big step in. Doesn't bother her to have a defender right in her face.
And here come the Fever. Been a little bit quiet this third quarter.
Well, the Swifts still leading this quarter, 7-4. Straight to the circle to find Glasgow as we see Fowler's stats. And that is exactly where she's dominating. It was 20 from 20 on that chart there.
I don't think I've seen Fowler move so much.
No, I agree with you. I haven't either.
And maybe this is the game plan to, you know, get Clow out of the circle or get O'Shannessy out of the circle and then try and get them. But look how high she is.
Do you know what? This is probably a game plan to a premiership. Not just this game, but something that they're thinking about. Yeah, absolutely. And as we say, they get a win here today. They've got the luxury of actually thinking 2 weeks ahead. No one else in this competition, well, the Melbourne Vixens do. No one else is in that position.
Well, they're doing a great job of it so far, so write it in your books, Dan Ryan.
Back to Simmons, Teague Neal. Glasgow in to Fowler again. That one-on-one. You can see Sarah Clow looking straight at Maddie Turner then, wanting some support. Hadley, Singleton, looks for Housby straight away. Whoa, that was a little cheeky. It looked like it might have been out of the hand from Courtney Bruce. Swifts kept possession. Housby, well, she recognised that Bruce was outside the circle, so she wanted to get herself back in there quickly.
This change-up of Housby out the front has definitely had an impact, and if we take a look here, 9-7 to the Swifts.
What's the first quarter? They've been in control, isn't it?
Bruce wanting to get on with that play. The one thing that I've really noticed about the Fever today is that they've taken all of their penalties really quickly, getting on with the game. It's often left the Swifts with their head down, trying to figure out actually what the call was in the first place.
There's the time to goal, and you see that it's significantly quicker for the West Coast Fever because they directly sight Fowler and let it go. A lot more movement, as you can see from the New South Wales Swifts. Keep it to 7, the New South Wales Swifts. Reminder, it was 9 at halftime. The Swifts in control of this third quarter. And again, that one just way too easy for the West Coast Fever.
Such efficient play. It was one person over the line on first phase, second phase to Glasgow, and then straight into Fowler. That's textbook centre pass.
And, well, I was going to say, so is that. The connection wasn't there straight away, but it finally came between Singleton and Housby. Singleton, a really strong drive up the guts of the circle. Best way possible to break defenders. There's that long ball again. Clow doing a good job in that Fowler's first ball is out of the circle, or it's quite high, and she's having to pass it out again.
That's where she is.
Yeah, it doesn't affect her now. Yeah. That's the problem. It's the second part.
It's the next phase.
Yeah.
She's just, you know, walking into it, essentially, walking straight underneath the post.
It's an HCF timeout. It's called by Dan Ryan in a fabulous position. Again, they weathered a little storm there from the New South Wales Swifts. Down by 2 in this quarter, but still up by 8. Let's get down and have a listen to the mastermind.
Exceptionally well. All right, so great job in that. You're just able to kind of work your way through it, make the adjustments, get back in control. So well done. All right, great skill to have. So awesome work. let's be really aggressive as a team here defensively during Super Shot period, all right? So you two guys out the front, I don't care if you isolate your mid-quarter to double team a shooter, all right? So we're just going to put those shooters under enormous pressure. Sit high, and Sunday sit high as well, all right? For us in attack, discipline, circle edge, make our choice after that, all right? So keep the work rate high. We know we have to work hard against them. That was our lesson early in the quarter. Now we've found our groove, all right? So dig in for that scoreboard pressure, all right? Great stuff. All right, guys, everyone in? Okay, we're trusting the grinds here, and we're either going goal for goal, or we're going to find a little moment to break a little bit, all right? So let's try and find that moment, but trust our processes here. Let's go.
For each other.
Well, we heard it there, didn't we, from Dan Ryan? Exactly what we talked about, weathering that storm, and how proud he was. There is the change made we have seen so often this season since going without Sam Wallace. The New South Wales Swifts, Singleton and Fawns regularly swapping in this game. And after what was a really solid start to this third quarter, started to maybe just stall a little. Bryony Ackles thinking time to change it up.
Yeah, absolutely. And you heard Dan Ryan talk about they really weathered the storm, and he was super impressed. Ariang almost coming up with that there. But he was impressed with his team that they were able to continue just to chip away, and now he just wants them to continue to find those moments to stand up. As we see the replay there, love a good rejection.
Not if it's happening on you, but I get your point. There is the siren for the Power 5. As we just see another tip for Ali Smith. What an entry she's had. Turner can't keep it in. Well, Janelle Fowler, the whole circle pretty much to herself, so smartly takes the one. Doesn't often shoot the two, but she certainly is capable of it. Caitlin Bassett, what have you made of the West Coast Fever weathering that storm? Impressed?
Yeah, look, it's showing definite signs of growth from them. Dan Ryan still on the sideline, but definitely happier. I was having a listen into what Bryony Ackles was telling her Swifts charges, and Ali Smith and Turner being told, stop jumping up and down on the spot and start attacking some balls. And as we can see that, it's exactly what she wanted.
Bryony Ackles probably wishing you said that a little earlier, Caitlin Bassett. It was right on cue, but there is the coach killer straight after it, a footwork call against the co-captain in Maddie Proud. And the all too familiar high ball to Janelle Fowler, who is yet to miss. Well, one miss this game, apologies, 43 from 44. Ariang to Teague Neal. Straight over the top, again to Fowler. Nearly lost her footing. Oh, danger time here for the New South Wales Swifts. It's blown out bigger than it was at halftime. Now the 10 goals. Look at the damage Janelle Fowler just continues to do. 70 goals is her record for one individual game. Don't think she'll crack that today.
She's also run 10K today.
Well, that's true. She's cracking the kilometre record, that is for sure.
Interesting to see Alice Teague-Neal feed off the circle. The last two plays she's done that as Fowler gets another rebound. But in that huddle, Dan Ryan said, I want you to get onto the circle edge. No more feeds from off the circle. So we may see a little bit of a shift in that.
And do you know what? I think that's thinking forward again. I think that's one of those things that they're working on. They've got to try and address if they come up against any different opposition. Because at the moment, it's not like it's not working for them off the circle.
No, that's
but
right.
Maybe it's just a disciplinary thing. We're thinking ahead to finals. Helen Housby, the Suncorp super shot, and it falls for her, and the crowd love it. At this point, they know they need a lot more of that sort of thing coming from that player. Oh, and they need some of that too from the Diamonds defensive duo, Sarah Clow and Maddie Turner, the Centurion. Have to score off it here now, the New South Wales Swifts. Even sweeter if they can drain a Suncorp super shot at the end of this passage of play. That will get them right back in the hunt. Fawns, same spot as Housby moments ago. The miss, but the all-important rebound, Kim Green.
Yeah, and we've spoken about it all game as we see the Harvey Norman replay here. Tip from Clow, straight to Turner. Look at Beck Bully, she is pumped. see the efficiency here from the Swifts getting that ball down. Fawns really providing some beautiful attacking play, but often getting in the way of Housby as well.
Oh, Housby! Ellen Housby! Another Suncorp super shot. A reminder, if you've just joined us, she holds the record with another couple of players, Sam Wallace and Joe Harton, for 10 Suncorp super shots in a game, and that was against this very same side, the West Coast Fever. Has she got that in her again today? Currently sitting on 5. She's halfway there. Sasha Glasgow also very handy from that distance.
Feel the momentum shift here. It's all about taking time and space away from the other team, and that's exactly what the Swifts have done. We've lost a shoe.
Well, do you know what? Ali Smith knows she's having a good game, so she's prepared to do it without a shoe on. She actually went for the ball. Here is that big moment, though. Look who gets the crumbs. It's Smith. Really has had a hand in a lot since she entered the game at halftime. So just a moment here for the players to take a breath while Smith does up that shoe and hopefully gets back into the action like she's been doing most of this quarter.
And if you take a look at the miss and net points here, Bruce still up the top, but that gap is closing now. You can see Hadley and Proud still in the mix there. The defenders from the Swifts, I think we might see a little bit more from them on that leaderboard.
Funny how we were asking for more from the midcourt for the New South Wales Swifts as we see them get it back to 4. Yeah, they've chipped away, the co-captains, done what's been required of them. Listen to this crowd. They want a Suncorp super shot here. That will get the Swifts back to 2. Housby's been hot from there all day, and she nails another.
Gosh, she's good. She knows how to stand up.
The New South Wales Swifts were as much down as 10. Back to 2, Kim Green, and stop the West Coast Fever with another attempt right on the buzzer. Bryony Akel will be pumped with that 19-14 in that quarter to the New South Wales Swifts.
Yeah, and say you're running down that long pass. Stop, I come to yours, you come off, and then she's either going to pick you or me. Yeah? If she goes you, then I'm on top. She'll shoot back on you. You're sitting here and goes back.
Plenty of positive chat in the New South Wales Swifts huddle. We saw the co-captains coming together and they look pretty comfortable, look pretty happy in that moment there. The two of them, a lot of talk about, and they want to make sure it's as seamless as possible. There's been a massive change. Oh, no, there hasn't. Helen Housby very slow to get to the court. She threw me. Let's get down, though, to Caitlin Bassett, who had an ear in the huddle for the West Coast Fever.
That's right, Kath. There's been some defensive changes here to the West Coast Fever, switching Arirang and Frances Bayman. The direction to push those Swift shooters up high, keep them up high. The focus really is on this first 5 minutes, Dan telling them to work hard, not to play safe for this first 5 minutes, but to really work hard.
Well, a lot said in that Origin energy break, but right now it is back on court, both sides. And the New South Wales Swifts will be feeling a little bit more confident after taking that third quarter, 21-15. What a turn of events after being down by 9 at halftime. Got to keep that momentum going, though. Proud. Fawns, back to Proud. Still lots of movement. Not liking much of it, though. Maddie Proud, she retreats to Smith. Now on the circle edge again. Housby doesn't even sight the post. Surely she will from here, Helen Housby.
And that's the patience that we know and love from the New South Wales Swifts. Fever doing a box, them just making it nice and short and sharp and getting it to the top of the circle.
To the difference here at Ken Rosewell Arena, round 13. One of the last opportunities for the New South Wales Swifts to get themselves into that top 4. And they realise it. They've turned it on here. Fawns. Oh, look at Courtney Bruce straight off and cut down one of the attacking options. Housby. Bryony Akel likes it. There is your live ladder as it sits at the moment. The West Coast Fever still in control of this game, so if they take it, they'll find themselves up there safely in second position, and the Swifts will stay in that bottom 4. Housby outside the circle looking for Fawns. She does. Still trying to work it closer though, the New South Wales Swifts. That makes me nervous, Kim. Just more ball thrown around.
It does, but the Swifts are a great team at being able to be patient with the ball. They know how to do it. Last year, that's what won them a grand final. So for them to continue to do this and chip away, that's their bread and butter. They know what to do here. But if we have a look at the Fever, generally it's 3 passes and they're down. Now the workload of that is so much easier than the 20 passes that the Swifts have to do.
Yep, agreed. When they start to have to move it around like this, it's because they're struggling, isn't it? It's not because it's really their choice half the time. That's what you normally see. The ball straight down to Fowler. Well, the crowd do not like that. And from the outside looking in, rightly so, Sarah Clow looked like she had brilliant front position, went up strong.
2 hands on the ball.
Everything right, but didn't end up with it in hand. Well, this crowd is going to become a very important factor if the New South Wales Swifts can get it nice and close here. Housby. Fawns. Looks straight to the post. A more confident approach from Sophie Fawns. To the difference. Just under 12 minutes remaining. There's the shooting stats for the Swifts. It was Singleton in the first half. Fawns 3 from 4, and the 1 attempt at the super shot. But Helen Housby, 6 Suncorp super shots have sunk her record, and the record for the Super Netball is 10.
Fever mixing it up a little bit here with Glasgow playing a closed circle. The centre pass getting straight back into the circle, allowing the mid-quarters to bring the ball down. Just gives them a little bit more space to play with. Also get that connection between the centre and the wing attack of Simmons and Alice Tignell. Having a look at the match leaders here of the net points, Fowler still up top. Bruce there, Brad Hadley and Tignell rounding up the 5.
Well, it's not shifting much, is it? It's been the same players for the majority of the game, maybe just switching positions.
Yeah.
And all of the leaders on court in that top 5. Teague Neal, vision, again long. It was a smart little look to Simmons to draw Clow.
Swifts are doing a great job of holding them up enough for that long ball to go in. You can see that, previously the Fever were getting it right to the circle edge or close to the circle edge to be able to feed it. Now they're having to launch it in.
Well, good challenge from Simmons outside the circle as 2 players go down simultaneously. Courtney Bruce as well.
They're in the post today.
Yeah. Surely by this stage she knows where it is. Here it is on the Harvey Norman replay. The ball across the circle and Simmons a little cheeky.
My apologies, Fawns had a little bit of a shoulder charge there.
Fawns. All the obstacles inside the circle. Fowler all the way back to the transverse line to Frances Bayman. Teague Neal. Whoa, Sarah Clow again. My gosh, she can't do anything more, can she? Front position. That is the skill of Janelle Fowler. Long ball, Housby. Fawns was in the circle, chose to ignore her and went across to Proud. Fawns.
I'm really liking the change from Frances Bayman into the goal defence position. She has changed up the timing of the defence in there. She's a little bit unorthodox in the way that she plays and often comes through last second on the ball. So the Swifts are really having to take that ball with 2 hands.
Frances Bayman has had some absolute crackers of games this season.
She's been fantastic. As we see another long ball from Glasgow, this is almost at halfway where they're launching this ball from.
And that's what I mean. It happens easily for the West Coast Fever, but I think in terms of getting themselves to a final, getting themselves to a premiership,
they have to have something else.
They've got to have a plan B, and that's where that discipline might have been coming in before, something that's been spoken about in the camp.
Well, and if you have a look at Dan Ryan on the sideline, he almost was in disbelief that actually got there. So something to work on.
Well, Janelle Fowler, of all people, can make a terrible ball look good, can't she?
Yep. They're really starting to break down in this second phase for the Fever. If we take a look at the score here, it's been pretty even this quarter, with Swifts taking the last one.
Taking the last one, but also the highest scoring quarter of the game too, at 21. So when they want to turn it on, they can. They've got to do it soon. They want to start to take control of this game. Very similar to a couple of games we saw yesterday. The Adelaide Thunderbirds in control the entire game, but got steamrolled by the Vixens at the end. Is that what we're going to see here?
Now that is what Dan Ryan was talking about. He wanted the shooter to go out of the circle and Bruce to isolate. What that means is get off the player, go and have a crack at something in a pocket. She did that beautifully.
Oh, whoa!
Housby!
Yeah, I mean, I think even I could have intercepted that. It was telegraphed.
I'm not certain about that.
Well, fair enough. We did play together. 3 the difference, though, and Helen Housby, not only can she turn it on in the shooting department, but defence is one of her strong points, and that's why she is so valuable out at goal attack.
Housby has this ability to completely shift a game. As you can see, she just pops her arm out there, bit of a poke, but she ends up running onto it, and Vaughan's also backing her up here.
I'll tell you what, I could just live watching the defensive specialist coach, Beck Bully. We need a Beck Bully cam.
Possibly the most passionate and most competitive person I've ever met.
Yes. No argument from me. The Swifts can get it back to 2. Well, it was a massive rebound. Bronnie Akel far more contained. Happy though. Need to turn ball over here, the New South Wales Swifts. The goals from game, well, at the start, that was about 7-0, wasn't it? The New South Wales Swifts have improved in that stat, and it's an important one to improve in. 7 minutes remaining in this quarter.
Interesting, Glasgow didn't want to put that ball up there. She wanted to pass off to Fowler, so you can see that the confidence there isn't quite there that it was in the first half.
Housby outside the circle, Hadley. Housby, back to Hadley. A couple of double plays between the two forwards. Can she stand up in these big moments? Well, she's up for the task here. 2 the difference, 6.5 minutes a play, so 1.5 minutes outside the power 5. And the New South Wales Swifts have an absolute legend in that department in Housby, as do the West Coast Fever in Glasgow. Dan Ryan has called the HCF timeout, even though the West Coast Fever are up by 3, maybe a little too close for his liking. Let's get down and have a listen.
Come in. Every time we get to depth on second phase by taking the drive, we're in business. All right, so really important. This depth on second phase, really important. All right, so punch over that line. Okay, critically important. And then we'll make the back 2 fill. All right. Centre pass attack, we must get you guys filling transverse line. So you can't be one behind each other. We need you on that reset line every time. All right, back that in, really important. You're now seeing it. They are going to come. All right, so keep chipping away, mate. You're going to get it. Just keep finding something between you two to dig deep, to do the work off the ball, punch with aggression. All right, doing that really strong. Keep your angle nice and clear. All right. Okay, here we go, guys. All about our connection here. Right, really critically important, but our ability to work hard in these moments. All right, we all have to do our own job right now and be there for each other. Let's go, come on.
3, 1, 2, 3.
Well, I love that. Dan Ryan went up with a smirk on his face to Courtney Bruce and said, you're seeing them, they're going to come. And that was that isolation that you were talking about before, Kim Green.
And she's had a few sniffs at it, and now it's about going and getting that ball and turning this game back around.
Housby, well, how good was that connection there? Hadley, right smack bang on the top of the circle, and in the middle, the New South Wales Swifts. 2 the difference now. Need ball back. Whoa, Cloud nearly got a tip on it.
We also heard Dan Ryan talk about the second phase and making sure Glasgow gets deep or Simmons gets into the goal third. You saw this, Glasgow was very deep. Swifts almost got it.
Fawns. Well, they're going to let Sophie Fawn shoot the game out by the look of it, but
She can do it.
Yeah,
We've seen it time and time again.
Absolutely. Current rate, she's up for the job, isn't she? That might be one of the worst decisions the West Coast Fever defenders have ever made. Stay tuned.
And we're seeing this shooting percentage start to chip away and get a little bit higher from the New South Wales Swifts.
Let's get down to Caitlin Bassett, who was right near the fired-up Beck Bully. What'd you pick up?
Yeah, look, I can concur. Beck Bully is probably one of the most competitive people in the world. She broke my nose while we played Rats and Rabbits. Anyway, she was talking to the defenders about starting on the body and then pulling off to get those intercepts. When I said, what do you want? She wants more intercepts so she can do that game face again.
Yeah, absolutely. There she is behind head coach Bryony Akel. It is a New South Wales Swifts HCF timeout. Still to the difference. That's been the buffer majority of this quarter. Both teams just a moment to settle, to have a chat, to think what their game plan's going to be in 8 seconds when they get to this Power 5. Let's have a listen to Bryony Akel.
No room on that line whatsoever. Yeah? You can even control the speed of that ball back from the shot. Don't rush it back. Spare centre pass. Okay, listen. Hands in. What have we spoken about in terms of this pressure? Love it. Race it. But listen, just control. We need to convert ours. Remember, that's our number one priority is converting our centre pass. We don't have to go 100 miles an hour. Okay, let's control this. Let's go. Go, guys. Press on 3. 1, 2, 3 in. Out. Let's go. Here we go.
Let's go. Let's go.
All very composed there in the New South Wales Swifts huddle, even a deep breath before they broke their huddle. But let's get straight down to Caitlin Bassett. There's been some big changes made for the West Coast Fever.
That's right. Captain Courtney Bruce has come out into that goal defence position. Frances Bateman, wing defence, and Rudy Ellis in goalkeeper. We haven't seen too much of Rudy Ellis over this season, just in spits and spats. Really interesting to see her come on as such an important part of this game, so looking forward to see her impact.
Ali Smith again straight into the action. Kim Green, what do you make of that defensive change?
Yeah, it's an interesting one, but I'm looking over to the bench now. Sunday Ariang is on the physio bench getting some treatment to her ankle, whether or not it's just restrapping. But I do love Frances Bateman out at wing defence. We've seen Bruce, she brings so much in the attack in that goal defence position, and Rudy Ellis brings a little bit of height.
Well, will this play out the way Dan Ryan wants it to? Having said that, let's hope that Sunday Ariang is okay. She'll be desperately needed if they can get through to finals. There is Rudy Ellis, was with the Queensland Firebirds last year. Not a great deal of game time, as you say, but certainly brings the stature to the circle. Helen Housby has got to make these fall. Well, what a contest for that rebound, and it's Housby the winner.
There's a little bit of heat coming into this game, Kath, and I love it.
Well, Helen Housby may be blonde now, but she is a fiery redhead under that, and you can see it coming out in moments like this. She really does stand up.
And it's interesting because the other person that stands up on this court is Courtney Bruce. They're up against each other.
I love that.
Beautiful outlet ball here from Glasgow. Loving that she's sitting out, allowing Fowler to have all that space in the circle.
Still the 2 the difference. Now out to 3 the difference. Janelle Fowler, a couple of misses today, but some massive numbers as per usual. Crowd waiting for something. Bruce has Housby squashed up against the post. Fawns hasn't skipped a beat. The pressure is mounting for the New South Wales Swifts, but she's enjoying the challenge at the moment. Sophie Fawns, there's her stats, 10 from 12. Finding herself in good position. Well, Turner had a really good look at it, couldn't pull it in. Oh, Kim Green, it's going to be a long 3 minutes. Oh, just a reminder, I did call extra time.
You did, and Bryony Akel in her huddle spoke about just converting theirs. Fawns is just backing herself as she goes for another beautiful shot.
Oh, look at Bryony Akel's face.
Just keep converting, that's all they need to do. Now, Fever, on the other hand, having to keep the ball. It's a hard game.
Sarah Cole! Whoa, she snuck through, and again, so the tips are coming. We often talk about games on the likes of a Fowler. You might not get any result until the last 58 59 minutes of the game, and we've seen a couple of those tips. Fowler still sitting pretty in the Nissan net points, and Courtney Bruce too.
But Swifts will be kicking themselves that they haven't been able to get onto those little tips and getting onto the loose balls. That's what creates the momentum. As you see the Harvey Norman replay here, get onto them.
Long ball finds Housby inside the circle. 2 minutes to play. What do? Suncorp super shots or chip away. Helen Housby's got to make it fall. Well, she doesn't, but it's the rebound. And another attempt. Oh, who can take it? Has to sink it. Helen Housby gets it back to one the difference. Oh dear, I'm exhausted already, and I'm not even doing anything here. Verity Simmons all the way back to Bruce. Teague Neal. Fowler. We can see the protection going on then. They let Fowler take the one. They protected that Suncorp super shot territory. Well, the New South Wales Swifts again, plenty of time to chip away with one-pointers. A Suncorp super shot though would level it up. Really need just to keep possession. If nothing else, at this point, the New South Wales Swifts, good vision.
Yeah, Fever in that box again. Bruce with the tip. Rudy Ellis with another tip.
Can she make it drop? She does! Helen Housby! It is level! 45 seconds left to play. Helen Housby, the Suncorp super shot queen.
Now Fever looking at just trying to play it around a little bit.
How can you be so calm, Kim Green?
I mean, you just have to look at them. Fever are just doing such a great job of being able to just keep calm in these sort of moments, but Swifts know how to do this too.
There was the live ladder. Reminder, if we're going to extra time, it is a 90-second break and then 5 minutes of extra time. The teams do not change ends. Rolling sub still active. The Suncorp super shot still in play. Are we going to get to that? This to win the game! Bonds, the rebound! Well, she doesn't need to take a Suncorp super shot. The pressure! Well, that was an absolute disastrous end for the New South Wales Swift. All they needed was that one shot under the post, Kim Green. Can you believe it? Can you believe it?
Bryony Ake will be bitterly disappointed just with that little bit of a finish. That's just, you know, I think the emotion overtook the moment in that time. And
well, look at Helen Housby's face. Here's the Harvey Norman replay, and it rings out. That right there, Sophie Fawns had to shoot it up. All that pressure on Helen Housby unnecessarily. They should have got themselves to extra time.
Especially when the momentum was going their way. Give themselves another 5 minutes to have another crack.
Look at the faces, on the New South Wales Swifts bench. Oh, so close. There's some devastation in that huddle there, because that may be the difference to their season, Kim Green. It puts an enormous amount of pressure on them for next week.
It does, and we spoke about that in the pre-game. They need to win next week, but they also need a lot of other performances to go, results to go their way.
Let's talk about the West Coast Fever though. They have now guaranteed themselves second position on the ladder. In a couple of weeks' time, they will take on the Melbourne Vixens in that minor semi-final. That will be in Melbourne. What a luxury for them, the place that they are now sitting. Basically, next week's game is a dead rubber.
They get another opportunity.
But there's still Aussie Diamond selection. There's still so much to play for. So whilst I say that, no one's going to be walking into that game casually, are they? Look at the excitement on the faces of the West Coast Fever. And, well, look at Helen Housby's face. That just tells the story, doesn't it? Let's get down now to someone I know will be happy with Caitlin Bassett. It's the captain of the West Coast Fever.
Yeah, look, I'm here with our most valuable player today, Courtney Bruce. Congratulations. What a heart stopper. Tell me what was going through your mind in that last minute.
Oh, just that we had to win ball, and if we did, just punish on the scoreboard. We know how what a formidable side the Swifts are at Helen's capacity to shoot 2 points. So just try and win ball and put the pressure on them.
And I know we don't like to hope shooters miss shots, but you got that last obstruction call when Helen Housby had the ball. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it was a bit of a flashback to Com Games, to be honest, but absolutely credit to Rudy to come up with that rebound. We've been practicing getting up and getting those rebounds, and that's the moments that we want to win.
And congratulations, this means you've secured second spot on the ladder. You're guaranteed next week playing against the Vixens in Melbourne. Tell us, next week, what's your focus as you lead into finals?
Yeah, Thunderbirds next week, so that'll be a good battle, and just trying to, I guess, get that four-quarter performance. We blew the score out, and then we let the Swifties back in, so just trying to punish on the scoreboard as much as possible before hitting that first semi.
And we saw you in a couple of different positions tonight. We saw a lot of changes in that defensive end. Is this something that you guys are used to by now?
Yeah, definitely. You know, Dan wants to have a team of 10 and be able to put everyone out there, and with Rudy and I, it offers a really, really tall circle, so it's something that we're happy throwing out there.
Well, congratulations. A very exciting game, and good luck in the finals.
Thanks, Bassy.
Thank you to Caitlin Bassett and to Courtney Bruce. Let's get straight to the ladder now and how it looks. As we said, the West Coast Fever already securing second position. So there is your major semi-final, the Melbourne Vixens and the West Coast Fever. Oh, Kim Green, where it gets interesting though is all underneath that. It looks as though the Giants will make the top four, but then still 4 teams on 20 points. The only team yet to play, the Collingwood Magpies. So they have an extraordinary opportunity here to jump up into that top 4.